John Cena versus CM Punk wasn't just a series of matches, it was a journey through wrestling's evolution, a chronicle of two men who pushed each other to heights they never could have reached alone. We're diving deep into every single encounter between John Cena and CM Punk. From their forgotten beginnings to their legendary conclusions, this is the complete story of 14 matches that changed the landscape of sports entertainment forever. The Forgotten Beginning, Raw, November 23rd, 2009. Our story begins not with pipe bombs or summer classics, but with a simple 9-minute and 38-second match that nobody talks about anymore. In Hershey, Pennsylvania, at the Giants Center, John Cena defeated CM Punk in what would become the first chapter of wrestling's greatest modern rivalry. At this point, Punk was still finding his voice, still establishing himself as more than just the straight-edge savior. Cena was the established champion, the face of the company, untouchable and unbeatable. This match was supposed to be routine. Another win for Superman, another loss for the upstart. But even in defeat, something was different about Punk. He fought with a desperation, a hunger that suggested this was far from over. The crowd response was tepid, the match was forgettable, but the seeds of something special had been planted. The tournament, Raw, December 14th, 2009. Less than a month later, they met again in the Superstar of the Year 2009 tournament semifinal in Corpus Christi, Texas. This time, John Cena dominated in just 1 minute and 41 seconds. A complete squash that left CM Punk looking like an afterthought. But here's what's fascinating about this match. It was so one-sided, so definitive, that it actually motivated Punk. Being embarrassed on national television in under 2 minutes isn't something a proud athlete forgets. This wasn't just a loss, it was humiliation. And humiliation has a way of forging champions. The WWE Universe had no idea they were watching the birth of the greatest rivalry of the modern era. They just saw John Cena doing what John Cena always did, winning decisively and moving on to the next challenge, the Year of Silence, 2010. For most of 2010, these two men operated in different orbits. Cena was dealing with the likes of Batista and the Nexus, while Punk was building his straight-edge society, becoming the leader of a cult-like faction that preached his philosophy of clean living in a corrupt world. But on June 7th, 2010, at Raw in Chicago, their paths crossed again in a match that would be remembered not for its conclusion, but for what interrupted it. The match between Cena and Punk ended in a no contest when the Nexus, led by Wade Barrett, made their infamous debut, attacking both men and announcing their arrival to the WWE Universe. The irony was perfect. Just as Cena and Punk were building momentum in their personal rivalry, a new force emerged that would dominate the landscape for months to come. But this interruption would prove to be just a pause, not an ending. The Awakening, January 17th, 2011. By early 2011, the landscape had shifted dramatically. CM Punk had taken leadership of the Nexus, rebranding them as the New Nexus, while John Cena remained the eternal company man, fighting against the faction's reign of terror. Their encounter on January 17, 2011, in North Little Rock, Arkansas, was different from their previous meetings. This time, CM Punk won by disqualification in 15 minutes and 1 second, but it was a victory nonetheless. For the first time in their rivalry, Punk had found a way to beat Superman, even if it wasn't clean. The match was violent, personal, and it marked the beginning of Punk's psychological warfare against Cena. This wasn't about championships or rankings anymore. This was about proving a point. The February Wars, 2011. February 2011 saw these two men face each other twice in a span of 1 week, and both encounters told the same story. CM Punk was in John Cena's head. On February 7th in Milwaukee, Punk won again by disqualification in just 4 minutes and 50 seconds. The match was short, brutal, and ended with Cena's frustration boiling over. A week later, on February 14th in Anaheim, Valentine's Day, how poetic, CM Punk defeated John Cena clean in 10 minutes and 36 seconds. No disqualification, no controversy, just a straight-up victory that sent shockwaves to the WWE Universe. The fans were starting to take notice. The man who called himself the best in the world was backing up his claims against the one man nobody thought could be beaten consistently. The Statement, Raw, June 13th, 2011. By June 2011, the tension between these two had reached a boiling point, even though their rivalry had been simmering in the background for months. When they faced off at the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, CM Punk defeated John Cena in 13 minutes and 57 seconds in what many consider a preview of things to come. This match was different from their previous encounters. There was an intensity, a focus, a sense that both men knew they were building towards something bigger. Punk was sharper, more confident, while Cena seemed to be questioning himself for the first time in years. 2 weeks later, CM Punk would deliver his famous pipe bomb promo, but this match laid the groundwork. It proved that Punk could hang with Cena in the ring before he proved he could outshine him on the microphone. the masterpiece, Money in the Bank, July 17th, 2011. And then came the night that changed everything. July 17th, 2011, at the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois, CM Punk's hometown of Chicago. The stipulation was simple but devastating. If Cena lost, he would be fired from WWE. If Punk lost, he would never get another championship opportunity. For 33 minutes and 45 seconds, these two men crafted what many consider the greatest match in modern WWE history. Every move told a story. Every near fall felt like it could be the end, and the crowd was electric from bell to bell. When Punk hit the GTS and covered Cena for the 3 count, the place exploded. CM Punk had done the impossible. He had beaten John Cena for the WWE Championship in Chicago, and according to the storyline, Cena was fired from WWE. But more than that, CM Punk walked out of WWE with their most prized possession, kissing the championship goodbye as he disappeared through the crowd. It was the perfect ending to a perfect match, and it launched what would become known as the Summer of Punk, the Unification. SummerSlam, August 14th, 2011. By SummerSlam 2011, the situation had become impossibly complex. John Cena had been rehired and won a tournament to become WWE champion, while CM Punk returned as the rightful champion. For the first time in WWE history, there were 2 men with legitimate claims to being the WWE champion. With Triple H serving as special guest referee, these 2 titans collided for 24 minutes and 14 seconds in what many consider one of the greatest matches of the modern era. This wasn't just about the championship, this was about legitimacy, about who had the right to call themselves the face of the company. The match was a masterclass in storytelling, with both men pulling out every trick in their arsenal. When CM Punk finally emerged victorious, becoming the undisputed WWE champion, it felt like a changing of the guard. The voice of the voiceless had truly silenced the doctor of thugonomics. 8 days after SummerSlam, these 2 met again on Raw in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. This time, the stakes were different. This was a #1 contenders match, with the winner earning a shot at the newly unified championship. John Cena won this encounter in 14 minutes and 28 seconds, proving that even in defeat, he remained a force to be reckoned with. The match was competitive, hard-fought, and served as a bridge between their classic encounters and what would come next. Their encounter at Night of Champions 2012 in Boston, Massachusetts, was poetry in motion. For 26 minutes and 54 seconds, these 2 men beat the hell out of each other in what would become their longest singles match. The ending was perfect in its imperfection. Both men's shoulders were down, resulting in a double pin and allowing CM Punk to retain his championship. It was a draw, but it felt like so much more. It was a statement that these 2 men were so evenly matched, so perfectly opposed that even the wrestling gods couldn't decide between them. This match showcased both men at their absolute peak. Cena had evolved beyond his basic moveset, incorporating new techniques and strategies, while Punk had perfected his character work, playing the villain without losing the technical skills that made him special. When these 2 met again on Raw in Columbus, Ohio, with Mick Foley serving as special enforcer, something felt different. The match lasted 13 minutes and 20 seconds, and John Cena emerged victorious. Their final encounter took place on February 25, 2013, at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. This was it, the culmination of years of battles, the final chapter in their legendary rivalry. For 26 minutes and 35 seconds, these 2 men gave everything they had, knowing that this was likely their last dance. The stipulation added extra drama. The winner would face The Rock for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 29. When John Cena finally defeated CM Punk clean in the center of the ring, it felt like the end of an era. The student had become the teacher, and the teacher had learned that sometimes evolution means accepting when your time at the top has passed. At Elimination Chamber 2025, they found themselves in the same match for the first time in over a decade, with Cena ultimately winning the Chamber match. But that brief encounter only served to remind everyone of the chemistry these 2 men share. John Cena and CM Punk gave us 14 chapters in wrestling's greatest modern story. Each match was a paragraph, each victory a sentence, each moment a word in the epic novel of their rivalry. Before you go, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed this complete breakdown and subscribe, because that helps a lot to continue growing as a community. Now then, good morning, good afternoon, good night.